I just got the brand new 16-inch MacBook Pro, and does it really beat my old Windows laptop? Let's see all the categories which can help you decide if you need a Windows or a Mac. This is the MacBook Pro 16-inch with the M1 Pro chip, and it has taken a generational leap from all Intel-based models. This MacBook Pro has a 16-core GPU, 10-core CPU, and is just so much ahead of Intel that it is crazy. It beats all the Intel MacBooks in every single spec that you can even imagine. It is insanely powerful with 16 gigabytes of RAM, and its specs are just off the charts. But let's see how that is on the Windows laptop. This is my old Windows laptop, and it's the Lenovo HP Yoga something.
What did he say?
Series. It has the Intel i5 chip 7th generation, which cannot even perform moderate tasks. I mean, Photoshop and Premiere Pro do not even download on this thing. I just have to say that the MacBook Pro is a winner in this category. Alright, let's see how fast both these laptops boot up. Alright, first let's go with the Mac. Oh, it's on. Okay, and now let's go with the Windows. Probably like 10 seconds. Probably like 25 seconds now.
2,000 years later.
Hello? And we're in. Wow, that took a long time. Now let's talk about displays. This Lenovo Yoga, of course, is a Yoga, which means that it has a touchscreen, as you can see.
Wow.
But the pixel resolution just kind of sucks. But there's also a pretty cool thing where you can fold it around and it can actually become like a mini iPad, even though
that's just incredible.
Slow, and its inbuilt iPad keyboard just kind of it's not good. It's not good. Now the MacBook has a super high resolution screen. It's actually a mini LED screen, which means that it can turn off the pixels that are black, therefore saving battery and making deeper blacks. That's also an OLED screen if you guys are wondering. But this computer can only go a maximum of this amount of degrees. Someone please tell me in the comments how many degrees this is. Even though it does not fold all the way around, it is definitely a much better screen, and sadly it's not a touch screen. But really, you don't really need a touch screen. So which one is better? A screen that folds around and has a touch screen, or just a normal screen but has a much better resolution? I think that this is actually a choice for you. If you prefer to have a touch screen, which is not really that good and gets dirty really easily, I would still go with this one because a touchscreen is a touchscreen and it folds 180 degrees. But this laptop is good for all uses, and it's great for watching movies and viewing content. Now on to the next category. But first, before we talk about anything software related, let's just go on to the hardware. The hardware on this MacBook Pro is extremely durable. I mean, it's Apple. Their hardware is just amazing. There are no creaks or anything when opening or closing this MacBook. The hinge is extremely strong. The trackpad is super, like, haptic feedback. And it just doesn't creak, doesn't bend, or anything like that. But that is a completely different case with our Windows laptop. Our Windows laptop creaks at every single point. The hinge does not even open without you having to hold it on both sides. I mean, I can visibly hear this creaking. It's got these random stickers, random little holes over here for your fingers, and it's just really bad hardware in my opinion. This category definitely goes to the Apple computer. But now what about the keyboards? Straight when you open up this computer, you're gonna see that this keyboard is pretty good and pretty clicky actually. But it just really lacks that mechanical feel that you want when you have a keyboard. It is backlit, but the backlights are also not very strong, so this keyboard is pretty mediocre, but not great. But the MacBook, on the other hand, is completely different. Some of the MacBook's older butterfly keyboards just completely sucked, but this brand new Magic keyboard is a step ahead. You can feel the haptic feedback, or not really haptic feedback, but mechanical feedback on every single press. Its backlighting is super good, and especially at night when trying to use it. Its keyboard is just super good and just extremely durable. No hardware issues there. This would definitely go to the MacBook. But one con that there is to this MacBook is that there is a notch.
Oh! Ew!
But it's not really as bad as you'd think. The bezels are super slim around the entire frame, but the notch is the only thing that's a little bit extruding out. Okay. There's no big deal. It's actually a great webcam, which we'll talk about soon. But this laptop also has its fair share of bezels. I mean, there's a huge bezel going around all of the screen, and I actually prefer the notch. Well, that's just a personal opinion. I would give this category to both. Now let's look at both these guys' webcams. The results will shock you. Take a look. This is the webcam on the MacBook Pro. It's really good. This is the camera on the Lenovo. It just sucks. I mean, look at this graininess. The background, you can barely even see it, and everything just looks kind of greenish, yellowish vomit. This is not great. I mean, the MacBook definitely won on that. And the sad thing is that even on the newer Windows laptops, you're gonna get this kind of webcam. I mean, on some of them. It's just crazy how bad it is. Let's move on to the next section. Also notice the audio in that, which brings us to our next section, audio. This has a 3-mic studio array, I think. I mean, don't quote me on that, but this has some studio microphones which are actually extremely good, and this just has some underwater...
I can't remember now. We're restarting that.
Underwater microphones. I mean, it just kind of sucks. Let's move on to the next category. Let's talk about ports now. This MacBook has an HDMI, USB-C, SD card slot, and on the other side we have a MagSafe for the charging. We'll talk about charging later. And other 2 USB-C ports. And a headphone jack, of course. Let's move on to the Lenovo. The Lenovo has its weird charging port. We'll talk about that later. It has, I think that's an SD card slot, but it's kind of deformed. So I don't think that's usable. We have a headphone jack, we have a microphone there, we have USB-A, which is not on the other one, another USB-A, a micro USB, and an HDMI. Well, that's pretty good, but I think that the ports still go to the MacBook. Now let's move on to charging. Wow, that was a surprise section right there. This thing charges with... Oh! I just unplugged it, it's already gone. Okay, so this charges with some weird thing. Oh, I'm just getting yelled at again. Okay, let's not even look at that charging cable anymore. This thing charges with some weird little headphone jack-like thingy. I mean, no one really uses that. And this thing charges with MagSafe, which is just usually, you know, it's not that much better than this because you do need separate cables for both of them. But the plus side on this guy is that he can also charge with USB-C, which now charges your iPhone. Check my iPhone 15 unboxing out. It also charges with your iPad. Check my iPad Pro 2018 unboxing. And it also charges with some of your other Apple products. Okay, if you have the second 0.5 generation AirPods Pro, check out the new Apple event video that I did. Alright, let's move on to the speakers. Before we do the speaker test, I just forgot to talk about the battery life. I mean, you saw this thing dies the second it's unplugged, and I've gotten at least 15 hours every single time on a full charge on this thing. It is great. But now let's get right into the speaker test. Let's start with our Windows laptop. Not bad. This one actually has upwards facing speakers over here, I think that's what those are. And it has some downwards facing speakers, which make kind of a spatial audio-ish, but let's listen to the MacBook Pro. I mean, you guys cannot compare that. This thing is like a spatial audio machine. You can actually feel like the thump, even when there's not even that much thump in this song. And I'm betting that in high bass songs, it's gonna be like really thumpy. Definitely, the speaker test is gonna go to the MacBook Pro, but if speakers don't mind you as much, you can easily go with the Yoga, and the speakers are gonna be perfectly fine. Alright, now for one of our final sections is the performance. I mean, I'm not even gonna do any Geekbench test marks or whatever, because the numbers don't really tell you anything. But I can tell you, out of my own personal experience of using both these computers for a while, that this guy is so fast, I've never even heard the fans turn on ever. This guy, the fans are on by looking at a Google Chrome screen. The fans are on by literally turning on the computer. You can hear... The fans are on all the time, okay? This is not even a comparison. The specs go to this guy. Now for the pricing. This guy cost me about $1,300 without tax, and it is really, really good for its price. I mean, you get all of the core features of the MacBook Pro, and I actually bought this refurbished, but link in the description. It came in pristine condition. I mean, there is not one scratch on this thing. Ask my cameraman, ask anyone that has seen this. It is great. Now, on the other hand, with this guy, you can get a completely brand new one with 512 gigabytes of storage, but sadly only 8 gigabytes of RAM for about $600 at Target. I mean, without the holiday sale, it's $750. If you pick it up now, it's going to be $550 plus tax, $600 or $800. So this is a pretty good buy. I would say that they've probably improved the webcam. The processor is definitely faster on that one, but I'm not sure if the problems with battery life and the fans are still on. I mean, I'm not to say about this computer, but I know from my experience with a slightly older Lenovo Yoga that it is pretty good for normal tasks, but the second that you try to do anything like heavy Google Docs work even, it's just going to start lagging on you. I definitely recommend the MacBook Pro for everyone, and it is suitable for most budgets. So, out of the Lenovo and the MacBook Pro, I have to say the MacBook Pro is definitely the winner. I mean, this guy cannot even go without being charged. Its processor kind of sucks, and it's just not great. The MacBook Pro has the best speakers in town. It is truly amazing, and it is just the best laptop that there is for its value right now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please watch one of these videos, either my iPhone 15 Pro unboxing or a video that YouTube thinks is best for you. Thank you guys for watching. This is Gur Haskel. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
This is pretty crazy. We were just recording the webcam section of this, and it says that the battery is at 0%, and when we started, it was at 49%. That is actually crazy, guys. Wait, why is the speaker test still on? Stop! I can't even operate this.
This is a blooper. This is gonna be a blooper.
Wait, are you recording?
It's recording.
Delete that.
No.